Trying to get focused just like that can be difficult, but getting focused can be as easy as 1, 2, 3, especially if you count backwards, 3, 2, 1. Take a basketball free throw, for example. Each time a player bounces the ball in their pre-shot routine, they can narrow their focus. 3, focus on the backboard. 2, focus on the rim. 1, lock in on that little screw on the back of the rim and shoot. So why is this simple trick so powerful? A basketball free throw is a closed skill, meaning the free throw shooter gets to decide when they are ready to shoot at a stable, unmoving target without defenders in their face. So besides the possibility of fans waving noisemakers and life-size cutouts in the background, there isn't much to think about. It's a skill that experienced basketball players have practiced tens of thousands of times. But sometimes the athlete's mind races nonetheless. As Timothy Galway, who wrote The Inner Game of Tennis, said, "The greatest lapses in concentration come when we allow our minds to project what is about to happen or to dwell on what has already happened." So a basketball player's thought process might drift from, okay, we need this, to, if I make this and I make the next one, we'll be up by 4. And that would make it a 2-possession game. They probably don't have enough time. So if I make these shots, I'll be the hero. That would be cool. But I missed my last free throw. Oh, so don't clank it off the left side of the rim this time. Ugh, I hate that rim. I wonder why they chose an orange rim instead of a red rim. Who buys an orange rim? Come to think of it, where would somebody even buy a rim? I guess that would be the athletic director's job. Oh man, my arms feel heavy. Why am I so nervous? I wonder if I should shoot the ball a little harder to make up for the tight muscles in my arms. But I don't want to bank it off the backboard. Okay, come on, focus. Think positive. You can do this. Just think positive. In this case, the player knows that he's not focused. But simply telling himself to focus doesn't mean that he will focus properly. And thinking positive isn't much more helpful than thinking negative, except for possibly reducing muscle tension a bit. So thinking positive isn't the worst thing to do, but neither is it the best. The free throw shooter should be thinking objective and focusing on something objective, like the little screw on the back of the rim, which happens to be a convenient target for free throw shooters. And this 3-2-1 focusing strategy works with other sports as well. In tennis, the server needs to pick a target, like a tiny pebble or a skid mark left by a shoe, and focus on that target. And a tennis player might develop a pre-shot routine that involves 3 bounces. 3, focus on the service box. 2, focus on the target area. 1, lock on that skid mark and serve. Or after a baseball or softball pitcher gets their sign from their catcher and the catcher sets up the target, the pitcher can count backwards in their head, perhaps while exhaling during each step. 3, focus on the catcher. 2, focus on the catcher's glove. 1, lock in on the single stitch on that glove and begin the windup. Or a hunter might draw their bow. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly as they count backwards. 3, focus on the buck. 2, focus on the dorsal posterior side of the anterior shoulder. 1, lock in on a tuft of hair and release. And golf. When hitting off a tee, a golfer might count backwards during their practice swings after they have chosen a target. 3, focus on the green. 2, focus on the far side of the fringe. 1, lock in on a pine needle or pine cone and keep that picture in the mind's eye throughout the swing. Now, one important caveat. Notice the term I used, in the mind's eye. Even when you can't look at a target as you begin your motion, you can keep that picture in your mind's eye. Golfers can't stare at a target because they need to look at the ball while they swing. And while pitchers and tennis players can look at the target through part of their pitch or service motion, it may be more strategic to avoid staring at the target so that they don't tell the pitch or reveal the target to which they're serving the tennis ball. So pitchers and tennis players at higher competitive levels may need to keep that target in their mind's eye rather than actually stare at the target. But elite golfers know that their mind's eye can see just as clearly as a focused stare, and their mind's eye directs the ball because their behavior usually follows their attention rather than their intentions. The 3-2-1 focusing trick is simple and easy to try, and you'll find that it becomes increasingly more powerful as you incorporate this little trick into your pre-shot routine, making a habit of focusing on your targets. Because ultimately, most sports boil down to a whole bunch of little target games. The trick is especially helpful when you sense your thoughts start to drift to the subjective and start projecting what is about to happen or start to dwell on what has already happened. Our long-term memories can hold information for 70, 80, 90, even 100 years, but our short-term memories are limited, and that little space in our mind is really small. So the key is to focus on something small, something objective, like a little screw on the back of the rim, and to trust your training to make it happen. And if that little space is filled, there is no room for the subjective thoughts and ruminations to find their way into a vacant room. And know that in the moments before you release the free throw or wind up for the pitch, that space will get filled. So find something small to fit in that little space and make big things happen in 3, 2, 1.